Da. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Road Crew Rally. It's so fantastic to have everybody here. I'm, of course, Brendan LaSalle, your Road Crew Chief out here at Master of Ceremonies. My co-host with the co-most, Mr. Chris Doyle, our 5e czar for Goodman Games. And then, of course, we brought along the man himself, our first guest, our only guest tonight, actually, but he's still our first guest. The man himself, everybody? The Dark Master, the founder of the Feast, Joseph Goodman.
How's it going, everybody? How you doing, Brendan? How you doing, Chris?
Doing well.
Very well, very well. So all things are good. So Joseph, fantastic to have you on here and everything. So how's everybody? What's been going on with you? What's new? What's been happening?
Just doing my thing. We've all been really busy lately. Chris, I feel like you and Mike and Matt have churned out 2,000 pages of stuff to go to the printer lately, something like that.
Yes. So we're working on, by the end of this month, it'll be in excess of 2,000 some odd pages of awesome gaming content of all different varieties to satisfy every need at every game table.
Oh, you're kidding.
Wow, that sounds amazing, Chris. Tell me more.
Well, how does 500 plus monsters sound? If folks love monsters. We've been living with monsters the last couple of weeks. Before that, it was X-Crawl. I think Brendan could probably talk more.
Brendan had something to do with that.
Yeah. And we've also been working on a Grimtooth Traps. So it's been monsters, traps, and X-Crawl. I mean, that's an adventure right there. So
it is.
I wore my Dendian shirt tonight.
Oh, that's perfect.
I
love that shirt.
Isn't that great? This is like honestly, this is one of my favorite shirts we've ever done.
I know, it's cool. So yeah, if you guys are wondering out there, first of all, welcome to the Road Crew. Everybody who's in attendance. This is the Road Crew Rally, first one of the year. And you might be wondering, why are we doing this in April? It's because we've been really busy. We have sent a ton of stuff to the printer, and we've been sidetracked by one thing after another. It'll all benefit you all in 3 months or so when it all lands. But Dark Tower got out to almost all the backers in the last couple of weeks. We still have boats on the way to the UK and Australia. X-Crawl went to the printer, I want to say 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, something like that. And I should be getting proofs the next week or two. So I will post previews of that on the Kickstarter when I get it back. We have Dungeon Denizens is like this far. The files are 90% done. Chris and Mike and Matt and me are going back and forth with the graphic designers, basically tweaking like final kind of details. And then by the end of this month, we have, DCC Day just went to the printer. End of this month is Grimtooth Old School Traps for 5e and DCC. And I want to say the Purple Planet stuff going to the printer by the end of this month.
Well, yeah, because, why not just pile another one on there? So
yeah, I know. So all this means by the time we get to July, August, September-ish, when all this stuff lands, we're going to be swimming in wonderful products.
And we're just going to enjoy. And then we're just going to roll around in all the muns.
Yeah, exactly. Roll around in all the books. I love the smell of a freshly printed book. I don't know if you guys know, it actually has like a very specific odor, which is probably formaldehyde and some sort of toxic chemical. But like, it smells great. I love that smell.
Probably eating our brains even as we speak. But you know what? I think it's all worth it. Putting in the work. You know what I'm saying? But there's nothing like when you. I remember 2014, the first box of Maximum X-Crawl. Like I was there.
We were out in that like parking lot.
Yeah, the parking lot of the hotel. Yeah,
exactly. You were like, oh my God.
I was so excited. I mean, I worked for years in that thing. And, so luckily I had a life way beyond that 1 year. Oh, wait a minute. I was thinking of McDonald's. Maximum X-Crawl actually wound up, there were circumstances, but you know what though? It gave way to the best. Go ahead.
Best edition, but it's not just you. Remember, Chris, when we released Castle White Rock, we released it at the Gen Con for 3.5 at the same time WotC announced 4th edition.
Yeah. That was actually we were unpacking the boxes, and you were like, "Hey, I gotta go. There's this announcement thing I gotta go check out." And we're like, "Okay, we'll see you in a bit." And then the next thing you come back is like, well, guess what? Put them all back in the boxes.
Oh yeah. No, so the Pathfinder X-Crawl, Dwayne was my co-GM that year. We're going to run games. We were literally doing flashcards with the Pathfinder rules to really get them down. When Joe's like, "Hey, we're all meeting over at the Irish pub. I got some news." It was like, So, you know what though? Bygones are bygones, and the new edition, I'm happier with Maximum X-Crawl than, or rather, with X-Crawl Classics.
it feels like X-Crawl found its home. You know, it is like,
oh my gosh,
such a wonderful expression of the game. And it like, I feel like it's going to be, people liked it on the Kickstarter. I feel like when they see it, you know, the actual execution of it, they're going to love it even more. You know, it came out better than I ever thought it could have. I mean, I had high expectations. It is higher. It is excellent.
I was the same way when I actually saw it and saw it coming together and seeing all the artwork and everything. I was like, oh my God, I want to play this. And it's not normally my type of jam, but just seeing it and seeing the artwork and everything, you're just like, oh yeah, it's like, I'll play that, like, without a doubt. So yeah. I think it's gonna be a great convention game too. I think it's gonna be the perfect convention game where you can just like hook people with like a picture of it and be like, "You want to play this?" And you don't even have to say anything.
Yes.
You want to play this? And they're like, "Yeah, I want to do that," and then go for it.
That's really awesome.
Brendan, I don't think we publicized this yet, but this year's Gen Con tournament is next X-Crawl tournament, right?
Oh, wow. Yes, we have not announced it yet. Yes, so this year, the Gen Con tournament this year is a Save X-Crawl. I actually just had a meeting with Mark yesterday and went over our plans. I'm going to run 3 slots of it this year, like more convention, more tournament time than I've done in many a shaggy year. So I'm really excited about it. So you know, come on out if you're going to make it a Gen Con. Come on out and watch. It's going to be rowdy. It's going to be so fun.
That's awesome. Well, so back to the Road Crew. That's why we're here tonight. For those of you tuning in, first Road Crew Rally of the year. Thank you everybody for making it. I'm going to turn it over to the co-hostess with the mostest real soon. I just want to come on and say thank you everybody. This year's Road Crew, obviously we're a little late, but the swag is awesome, and we ironed out all the kinks on a new concept. I actually saw in the chat some of the Gong Farmers locals like reporting in, which is great. We got a Columbia local 50360.
What's up?
I saw. We got a
709 Newfoundland.
Yeah,
I love that.
Somebody in Brazil, local 51, local 158, Red Cap Reavers. This is great. So this is the concept we want to introduce this year. And like everything at Goodman Games, my catchphrase is progress, not perfection. It won't be perfect this year. We want to get your feedback, and then we're going to keep fine tuning it. But the basic concept is you tell us, you know, your identity. Brendan's going to show you some of the certificates we give you. Eventually, what I want to do, I'm going to say what I want to do eventually, which is not yet live. But eventually, I want to do like a Google Maps thing where it identifies all the locals, and somebody who's new to DCC can log on and say like, oh, there's local 52 and one city over. I'll email this guy and see if, you know, they're playing at the local store and I can join in. Like, make it like a thing we can find all the locals nationwide. Yeah. So we have big ideas for where this could go, but we wanted to say initially, thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for your patience this year. Thanks for being part of the Road Crew. Thanks for participating and spreading your appreciation and joy for our games.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Joseph. We appreciate you stopping by, and we're going to let Joe get back to his life, and then me and Chris are going to ride you the rest of the night. We're taking this thing all the way to the top, so stay tuned. Okay, well, thank you so much, and we are back. Chris, this is your first time ever being on a Road Crew Rally, am I right?
Yes, correct. It is exactly my very first time here. So,
well, it's wonderful to have you.
Me. Go easy on me.
No, we're psyched to have you. Since it's your first time at the rally, why don't you tell everybody what it is you do for Goodman Games?
Okay, so yeah, I am the developer of everything 5e. So what we like to, Mike and I like to say that we have different sides of the house, and Mike is of the DCC side of the house, and I'm the 5e side of the house. So anything that involves any of the OAR books, 5th edition fantasy, and in some of the combination books, like obviously we just wrapped up Dungeon Denizens. There's a 5e version of that. So yeah, so everything that's 5e related comes across my desk, or I write it or touch it up or something.
That's fantastic.
It's all over it.
Chris is also the co-host of the immensely popular Talking TSR show that we did for many, you know, I don't even know how many episodes, but a ton of them. And still catching up.
We topped out at 57 or 58 episodes, 3.5 years. We finally ended it last year. But Rick and I couldn't leave good enough alone, so we kicked off another show called the Top 50 Classic Adventures of All Time, which was cool. It's really it's a passion project, and of course, Talking TSR was a passion project also. Trust me, I mean, I don't normally just take my Sunday nights and throw them away, and plus all the prep work that goes into these. But we're having a great time. The top 50 classics, we polled you. many of the Goodman Games contributors. We opened it up to all of the Goodman Game contributors, artists, editors, designers, Joe, some folks that are very close to Goodman Games. And we asked them what their top 20 adventures of all time, classic adventures. And keep in mind, I didn't say TSR, I didn't say D&D, so there is more than one system in there. Spoiler alert, our next show, which is the 28th of April, we'll have our first non-D&D adventure. We'll make the list, and we are in the upper 30s. So we've already on our third countdown. So we're having a blast. We have a lot of fun. It gives us an excuse to bust out some old classic adventures and flip through them and prep for the show and everything. And it's fascinating. And I'm the only one who's seen all the stats and all the numbers. And let me tell you, I am so excited about the list. The list, I think, came out great. Having over 30 panelists, I think, really helped out. You don't get those outliers, like somebody put something really high and it zooms it way up. I think we got a nice bell curve, or probably not bell curve. I don't know. I suck at math. That's why I was a biologist. But anyway, we're having a blast with it and everything. So do you remember what your favorite adventure was, or one of your
top number one? I remember a lot of them. Let's see. In my list, I had 2 DCC adventures I put in there.
Yep.
That I thought belonged there. I had Sailors in the Starless Sea, which I think absolutely belongs there. And I also had, and I don't know why, I think time will bear this out. I had Manly Mike Curtis's Acting Up in Lankmar, which is like I've played that and ran that, and it's magical. That is such a magical adventure. I had one of the coolest GM RPG moments I've ever had in that game, like where I had a revelation and such. It was I don't know. So I really dug on that. I'm sure I had the giant adventures on there because I'm slavishly grateful for how cool those are and how fun they were. Speaking of and slave lords, I probably had that. I'm sure I did. I do remember this. I spent a lovely afternoon overthinking that list and messing with it. And I called my brother-in-law. We had to hack a few things out. You know what I mean? Like
nice.
It was I really enjoyed that. So if you haven't checked that show out, I really recommend it. It's a lot of fun. And Chris is also Chris, which brings me to the next thing, because we're both involved in this, is that we are both also this year for the first time we have brought an organized play program to Goodman Games. So never thought I'd say that, but there was so much demand for it. There were so much people who had reached out to us about it. We were like, let's give it a shot and let's make a really fun, like a hilarious organized play event, and just knock it out. Foxy Reads asks, any Gamma World adventures? I don't know what Gamma World adventure I would put in the.
I believe there was at least one that I'm not saying made the top 50, but we had something like over 200 adventures got at least one votes. At least one vote. Yeah. But yeah, I think there was at least one Gamma World in there. There might have even been 2. Yeah. There might have even been 2.
What's the one with the chicken plant you have to go to? I remember that one fondly. I went there as a player. But,
I don't. Yeah. Oh my God, I've only played Gamma World once. I mean, yeah, something like that, and that was many moons ago. So cool. Yeah, but organized play. So let's jump into organized play.
Yeah, so we're doing it for the first time, and we've got a DCC side organized play and a 5e organized play. Chris is obviously in charge of the 5e organized play, as he's in charge of everything else. And we did our first was at GaryCon this year. We had our first ever full out organized play session. Chris, how did it go on the 5e side? How did it all go?
So it went actually surprisingly well. GaryCon is more of an old school gamer thing. So, I was a little bit concerned. I was like, wow, is there really a huge demand for 5e events at GaryCon? And the answer is a resounding yes. We scheduled 10 events and we did 10 events. We actually, we sat additional people. We had extra people show up and we actually sat them. We had folks on the waiting list, which was amazing. And just to backtrack a little bit before I tell you a little bit about what the 5e program is, and then Brendan's gonna, I'm sure, discuss about what the DCC version, because they're very different. So if you've ever done Adventurers League, that's what we base the 5e portion off of. Now we do know that organized play in some circles can have not such a great reputation. But that's why the beauty of this, of us doing our own version, we're not doing Adventurers League. We're doing what we want to do. So and just like Joe said a few minutes ago, how it might not be perfect the first year or maybe even the second year, but we want feedback from you folks, and we want you guys to get out there and play organized play events, and then let us know like what would make it better, what would make it cooler, what house rules do you want to see, what house rules don't you want to see. Like, it's like, so this is really, it's an opportunity for folks who don't have a regular game at home, or maybe they don't want to do online gaming because because I agree, online gaming is not ideal. It gives them an opportunity to be in part of a shared world, a shared campaign. And like I said, we are so open to feedback, and we're only going to do things if people want us to do them. I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of things over the years at Goodman Games come and go. Well, there's a reason why things come and go. It's like we gauge the anticipation and the expectations and the enthusiasm, and if it's there, it stays around. Like the road crew. How many years has the road crew been around, Brendan?
10 years. 10 years.
It started off when, yeah, because that's right, because we're 12 years for the core book now.
Yeah.
So 10 years. So obviously the road crew works because it's still here 10 years later. So that's what we're gonna keep doing. And for folks who don't and there's a couple folks, they might even be in the chat. Whenever we run a Kickstarter or a backer kit or what crowdfunding, there's always a thread that gets started saying, when are you guys gonna do Castle White Rock again? When are you guys gonna update that or anything? Well, boys and girls, that's what we're doing on the 5e side. So if you've ever wanted to play Castle White Rock, you just need to get into one of our organized play events, because that's what we're running. I mean, come on, this was a brilliant move on Joe's part to get me to fully buy into an organized play program. He says, hey, it's going to be Castle White Rock. I mean, how can I say no? So, I mean, it's kind of like, if Joe came up to Brendan and said, we want you to do organized play, but, how about we make it X-Crawl? I mean, it's going to be like, oh, yeah. So that's what we've decided to do. So if you've ever wanted to play in the 15 levels of Castle White Rock, which is a full huge mega dungeon, which would keep you busy. I mean, this sucker was like 400 and some odd pages long when we first did it. But 15 full dungeon levels, 14 sub levels. We say there's a dragon at the bottom, but spoiler alert, there's two. So it's like you get it's like buy one get one free on the dragon front. Who doesn't love dragons? It's like that was what I remember when we came into this. It's like, what do we want to do? We want to do a huge dungeon, and we want a freaking dragon in the bottom of it, because that's what you have to do. It's in the name of the game. So that's what we did. So anyway, if anybody's been interested about Castle White Rock over the years, and wants to get a sneak peek on what we're doing, the treatment of it, moving forward, everything, this is a great opportunity for you to either play at one of your local conventions. The next one will be at Gen Con. We're going to be doing more Castle White Rock organized play, and then Gamehole Con. But more importantly, since the demand seems to be amazing out there, we need game masters to run Castle White Rock 5e. So hopefully if there's some folks on tonight that are 5e game masters, or know people who are looking to be game masters for 5e organized play, hit us up, let us know, and we'll hook you up.
People who are interested in 5e, where should they reach out to?
They can either send an email to probably best to send it to info@goodmangames.com. If you guys notice on our socials and some of our updates we're doing for our crowdfunding, we're actually asking people to send a little blurb about themselves, like introduce who you are, how long you've been playing 5e, and also we ask you what your favorite adventure is, because hey, we want to know. So because that's a good thing. And then you can send those off, and then the customer service team will get those inquiries, and then they'll pass them along to me, and then I will probably be reaching out to folks and seeing if people are interested. We really need game masters for Gen Con. I think we're covered for Gamehole Con. But this Gen Con, August 1st through 4th, we need game masters, because we want to run as many tables. We can only run a number of tables based on the number of people a number of game masters that we have. So I mean, we can try and cram 6 people at a table, but we want to try and keep it down to 5, a little bit better play experience. But yeah, so hit us up. and let us know. And we'll give you all the information, and you get a chance to get an early sneak peek of what we're doing with Castle Wentwreck. And we're making changes. We're having some fun. We're not letting it be. We're not letting it be like it was. We're making it better. So
that's awesome. Well, so I unfortunately had to miss GaryCon this year due to capital R reasons. I had some health issues going on, and I could not make the show, which was a giant drag. But we did DCC organized play there for the first time this year, and you know what? Again, when they told us we needed to do an organized play for DCC, we wanted to make the kind of program that all of us would enjoy, and it really had to reflect the DCC values. So this is not a lot just like everything DCC. We didn't try to do a lockstep thing where we sort of like locked all the GMs into running the rules one specific way. We are letting GMs run DCC their own style at the table for maximum player fun. We're not going to try to, squeeze it all in there. We're going to let everybody, every game is still going to have that wildness. It's all going to still have that GM expression. Our judges are all going to be able to put their imprint on it. We had a lot of games. I got someone of the crew here played. Unchained said that DCC OP was great, and I hope it continues to be. And we will be doing it again at both at Origins and at Gamehole. And I also am looking for judges for Gamehole Con. So if you're considering attending Gamehole and you're interested in running some DCC organized play, same thing, info@goodman-games.com, and send it on over to us, because we would love to have you as part of the crew. It was I was so jealous. We had a Zoom meeting afterwards with all the judges, and I'm hearing all the crazy stories, and I was just like,
yeah,
bad enough to thank you, Bill Co. Bad enough to not to have to miss it, but also to miss the launch of organized play for DCC side. That's like missing a child getting born. You know what I mean? You can't get that back. So
I hear you, man. I hear you.
Yep. Unchained, if you're in for Gamehole, send me a email. You got my regular email address, so just send that my way, and you're in as far as I'm concerned. You know what I'm saying? Because that's awesome. So and it was but everyone seemed to really enjoy it, player side, and we could have run more events, I think, ultimately. So it is very cool that we're going to do it. So now let's talk about the intersection between organized play and the road crew. So if you are running organized play, by definition, every one of your organized play games absolutely counts road crew credit. So if you're doing the one, you may as well sign up, put your games up on the event calendar, and then and then you have access to the road crew section of the Goodman Games website, which means you can order all of the new swag. The new swag is already on there right now, so you can go up and take a look at everything we've got.
Tell us about the swag. Tell us about it. We want to know what it is.
I don't want to miss anything, so I'm going to go ahead and actually.
Yeah, pull it up so you don't miss anything. I mean, it's an age-old thing, man. If you don't write it down, it didn't happen.
So. Right? Don't get me started, So we've got a lot of cool greatness this year, and I'm pretty sure if everybody who's on here probably has already seen this by now, but we've got the welcome kit, which has got a letter from me, which I'll tell you what, honestly, the road crew letter is the most heartfelt thing I do every year for the company. I sit there and just it's like, let me kind of pour my heart out. It's about next year. It's about last year. So that's in there. There's going to be a Gong Farmers Unite poster. You get a couple of posters in there with that. We've got pens, bookmarks, spiral pads, sticky notes, which are fun with the logo on there. Magnets, and even more stuff coming up, and of course those pocket folders, which are always super popular.
Yes.
I think Joe had a huge stack of those 10, 15 years ago. He was just going to throw them out after some con. I'm like, can I have these? He goes, yeah.
Don't do that.
I know, you kidding me? I still have there's a very often notes for my wife or myself are left in DCC sticky notes at this point. So,
nice.
So So, Gong Farmer local organized play. What could go wrong? Exactly. Mark, if you're into running a game hole, send us an email to info, and we'll send you all the juicy info. We'll come your way, and it's going to be really fun. And I will be at game hole. I'm getting ready to put my events in, and I just cannot wait. So. It's going to be super, super exciting. So, but if you're going to run organized play, by all means, go ahead and put your stuff up there for make sure all your games are registered. You're in the road crew at that point. You're there. You may as well get the glory. You know what I'm saying? If you're out there doing it. So we hope to bring everybody back. So the road crew has always been open to judges who wanted to run our 5th edition games, the 5th edition fantasy adventures, or the OAR content that's in our 5th ed. We've always left the road crew open to that, but we've never really promoted it very much, and I feel bad about that. So we're trying to correct that tonight. So that's why we brought Chris in. We brought Chris to say, to our 5e, it is going to change, our 5e brothers and sisters. And I'm going to go ahead and say this now, so it's actually like in public someplace. Joe has guaranteed me that next year I am going to have the ability to do some 5e specialty swag for the 5e side. Ooh. So if you have any ideas, kick those over to me. Y'all got my email address, Brendan at goodman-games.com. And I'd love to, love to hear what your thoughts are.
And here's the master plan, folks. Since you guys are on here, we're going to tell you. We're not going to tell the general public on this, but this is the whole goal. The whole goal is to lure the 5e players in. And then when they're in the road crew and they're playing our awesome organized events, they're like, hey, what's that DCC RPG over there? It's like, that looks like fun. That table's having a lot of fun. What are they doing? And then the next thing you know, they're coming over and trying to funnel. And that's the whole goal. It's like, it's kind of like, we're kind of like, we're the first one free, come in, play a little bit of 5e, get into the door, and then you're like, oh, hey, wow, cool. You guys got $10 core books, and I don't need to buy any other books or anything like that. And you guys have free swag, and you guys have Brendan. So that's it. Yes, join the dark side. You guys know I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so I'm all about that. So
call him Chris Double Down from now on. He's our man on the inside.
The deal. So if we could just get, come on, there's literally millions and millions and millions of 5e players out there. God, if we could just get a fraction of them come and check out DCC RPG just once, just play it once, it's going to be amazing. So let's
absolutely. Like I hope everybody is, people of multiple systems. You know what I'm saying? I mean, gosh knows, So, all right, I got one note here. I got to ask. So, since I didn't a minute ago, for organized play at GaryCon, were there any standout stories from the 5e side? Anything cool?
So much like Adventures League, so we're giving certificates out for any special items that you get while you're adventuring, magic items or player handouts and stuff like that. So if you get a player handout, if you uncover a clue, you get a handout for it and everything. But one of the encounters, and I don't want to spoil it too much, but there's a juvenile mimic in one of the encounters, and the players actually captured it and befriended it, and they gave it some food, and now it's their friend. And their one complaint was that there wasn't a certificate that they could have to show that they had a juvenile mimic kind of as like a companion now. And I sat there and I thought about that, and I said, well, that's something that probably needs to be rectified. We probably need to get that. And it was just, it was just great that between that stories. I don't want to spoil everything because people haven't had a chance to play yet. We have 6 new 5e adventures that we're rolling out this year. But after those all roll out after Gamehole Con, we're talking about some other ways to make those available so folks can play them. We're probably going to have a way to download them or something. But yeah, that was probably the one standout, but just amazing. I got to give a shout out to Alex over at 20 Sides Every Story and his amazing game masters, Casey, Isaac, and Dawson. They did an amazing job. They handled all of the tables, all the 5e tables, and we got such great feedback from them. And you guys know, back in the day, I did RPGA and everything. It's all about the game masters. If you have a great game master, you can have a lame adventure, but the players are going to have a great time. So I cannot say enough about Alex and his crew. They did a fantastic job. And folks were loving it, and people came prepared. I'm so thrilled that we had all these documents online. We have a website. If you go to our regular Goodman Games website, you can find your way to the organized play, and we have all the documents on how to create a character, how to run a game. Everything's up there. Pre-generated characters, blank character sheets, the whole 9 yards. I spent a lot of time creating all that content, and I was so excited that when people came to the tables, they had already downloaded it. They had already created characters. They already followed all the instructions. Nobody follows instructions unless you're doing your taxes. And I'm like, but gamers are amazing. And they came prepared. They came ready to play. And it was phenomenal. I mean, they had such a good time, and it's really exciting to have people be able to experience Castle White Rock. In this day and age and everything.
Yeah.
So looking forward to it, and the valuable playtesting experience we're going to get out of this too. We're going to make Castle White Rock even better. So I can't wait for that. So it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I got to give out shout outs too. So Jim Scatch like totally took over for me when I couldn't be there. I'm like literally texting him from the hospital, like, Jim, and he was so cool about it. He made it all happen. He brought a printer and printed packets. I can't thank him enough. Him and Big Tim really were total, standouts, really helped make it all happen. But all of the judges, Mark, Chase, Jim Myers, Chris Stagno, Joan Troyer, I'm probably miss Hector Cruz. Just so grateful for everybody coming out. If I skipped your name, I apologize, but I think that's everybody. Oh, God forbid. But thank you so much for going out there. And if I miss somebody, throw them in the chat and I'll throw them a shout out. That's on me. But just it was I don't know, it was epic. And and just in general, like people filled in for all of my games, got filled up by DCC volunteers. That's this community, you know what I mean? The Goodman Games fan community. I will put the Goodman Games fan community up against any fan community out there. Swifties, J5, whatever, you know what I'm saying?
I thought you were going somewhere else. I didn't think you were going there.
any fandom you want to pick out, Rush fans, Pink Floyd, those weirdos, anybody. Okay, DCC and Goodman Games have the best. We have the best community, and I'm so grateful for all y'all. And thanks again. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I got love for all those groups pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, mine is Pink Floyd fans, but
didn't know Brendan was a Swiftie.
I mean, honestly, that woman got heart. You know what I mean? But she's got that one. I know exactly one song, but it's like a household song for us. It's a "Shake It Off." We play it all the time. It's a great song. So, all right. So what else do we want to talk about? So, okay, I think that's enough about organized play. Let's move on to the next thing I want to mention, which is that we are going to do, we always do, we do a road crew contest every year. Every year we change it up. We've done bumper stickers. We've done, we did posters one year. But I want to do something this time to let people really flex their dungeon creativity. So this year, and I'm going to go ahead and announce this year's contest tonight. So this year we are going to do, I left the date off I don't have the date. I have to look up my notes and get the actual, the contest date when it comes up, but let me pull it up. But here it is. So this year we are going to do an encounter contest. So we are looking for everyone to write one encounter, 1,000 words or less. We got a theme for this year. We're going to try it with a theme. The theme for this encounter is by the riverside. So you can interpret that however you want to, but go ahead and write us up an encounter for that. I said 1,000 words or less, and we're going to choose the best 5e one and the best DCC one. So we're going to actually get
one winner of each.
One winner of each, and then we'll have runner up, and whatnot and such. But the two top winners though are going to win the big prize, which are going to be 2 original pieces of Brad McDevitt art. These are going to be they are hand colored prints on cardstock. I talked to him about it today. He said it'll be these 2. I said they're perfect. He goes, well, it might be this one instead. So Brad hasn't exactly decided, but the ones he showed me were amazing. So
but they're from Dungeon Denizens, aren't they?
They absolutely are from Dungeon Denizens, and let me get you the
monster art.
Yes, and the due date. So the contest deadline is going to be May 24th at midnight. It's a Friday. So Friday, May 24th at midnight will be the deadline for the encounter contest. If you have any questions, you can send them my way, Brendan at goodman-games.com. But I'm looking forward to seeing what all y'all come up with. Chris, spread the word on the 5E side, and we'll let everybody know, and let's see some coolness.
I look forward to perusing the submissions and helping to decide which ones make it.
Absolutely. This could be, who knows, this could be next, the next decade's top 50 adventures of all time. Could you be in there alongside of Against the Giants and Slave Lords and whatnot?
Possible.
I don't know. That's awesome. All right. So anyway, so we hope everyone will come out and participate in that. And again, any questions that you have, send those my way. So let's see if we have any. Let me look at the chat real quick and see if we have any.
Oh, there's a great question. Can they do an X-crawl encounter by the riverside?
Absolutely. Yes. And that could be a
secret bonus points for that.
Yeah, that could be that river could be inside an arena, outside, you know what I mean? It's the parking lot, however you want to do it. You know what I mean? Yeah, absolutely. And go loose with that theme. But yeah, X-crawl is always welcome. Think of X-crawl like, I won't say like Lankmar because the clouds will part and will be struck by lightning. But think of us like a Shutter Mountain or something like that. Like we're we're a part of the DCC thing still. So yeah, absolutely. I'd love to see an X-crawl encounter. I'd love to see one win, and I might even have to recuse myself because
Yeah, of course it has to have a van down by the river. I mean, it would have to. It would have to. So I can't take the complete credit for that. That was mentioned up above, but still. Wizard van down by the river. Yeah, the wizard van down by the river.
Oh my God! I just watched all of I went on a Chris Farley run around the holidays and just rewatched all of his stuff. God, he's funny, and that was
high energy.
High energy.
He gave
super
you
classic.
Everything.
Yeah, oh my God. Well, I can't even do it. He was killing me. So I'm gonna scan if any other questions. This is going really fast here. We're zipping through things. So I got a couple other things big for the road crew I want to point out. So coming up, we got a couple of big days. So free RPG Day is June 22nd this year. Okay, we are obviously we're going to be taking part and supporting that, and I will be we have what's Chris any words about our can we talk about our free RPG Day release yet, or is that still
I don't know if we've announced that, so I would just say there's going to be one. And you guys know what it is. It's going to be awesome. I mean, but I don't think we've actually announced that. So
all right, yeah, just making sure. Okay, so we'll get busted. We'll get busted if we talk about it. So we're not going to do that. But let's just say that there will be one, and it will be awesome. Chris, are you going to do you ever do like store things for? You're going to do a shot for?
I don't run games at stores for free RPG Day, but what I do is I usually do like a circuit where I will pretty much spend the whole day driving to game stores. Sadly, you would think there would be some awesome game stores in New Jersey, but there really aren't. Shame on you for New Jersey not having really good game stores. The closest ones, I do have a decent one that's probably 5 miles away, and they did participate last year, and I did spend way too much money at their store because they had amazing stuff. But generally, I take this whole trip down South Jersey, and I hit a couple of stores down there, and then I do this big, huge loop, and I basically make it a whole day, right? I just drive around, I go to a bunch, and I got to pace myself because I always like to buy. The whole idea is to buy something when you're at their store, but it's so hard. You get to the first one, and you're like, I want this, I want this, I want that. And
I know.
The next one, and you're like, the next thing you know, you're coming back with a fucking armful of stuff, and it's not all free books, and you're like, I get back to the wife and I'm like, but look at all the free books I got, it just free books that cost $250, but it is what it is. So I don't generally run, but I do try to at least make it worthwhile to go to several stores and publicize the whole event.
Publicize,
that's what it's all about. Publicize.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I tell you what, I have not been able to do it every year, but I am this year. This year I will be running at Crazy Book Lady in Ackworth, Georgia, which is oh, it's so cool. Crazy, like it's literally this great, you got to see it. It's the classic used bookstore, just nuts on the inside. They have an incredible, every time I go there, I spend $50 on books, and like load up, they have a cat. They also they're always having local authors and whatnot. They're really active, so they have a lot of local authors. So the last day that I ran there, I went and ran for I did a Valentine's Day thing there. I ran Love Mutants. Nice. I ran Love Mutants there. It was super fun. But while I'm doing it, there's 3 local authors there selling just like their little local books. It was so cool, Nice. So I will be Crazy Book Lady in Ackworth, Georgia this year. I will be running. I don't know what I'm going to run yet. I might run the free RPG Day adventure, which could be fun for people. But I'm allowing myself to go slow and just decide that, you know what I mean, when all that comes up.
I hear you.
And then one more big day to mention coming up is a DCC Day. Will be July 20th. Not a lot of information yet on DCC Day. I don't know what I'll be doing, what anyone will be doing, but it will be. We are doing DCC Day this year, so get ready for some cool stuff. And there will be a DCC Day release. So we haven't talked about at all.
What?
The Gong Farmer chapters. We said hello to 8,000 Gong Farmers here, but we haven't done this. So if you're curious.
Well, this is a great segue. Look, you got a question about that in the chat.
I'm ready.
There.
I'm ready for it.
Some official membership cards, but I want to know if there'll be membership cards because that's so 70s. And it is. It is.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we, Elena? Can we go ahead and show that certificate? Okay. So this is. Can I still talk over it? Okay, cool. So this is like a dummy version of what the certificate is going to look like. This is close to, but not exactly the final design. And we got the Lankmar. What are they called? I don't have the page up. Do you have the? I should have written their name. Yes, there will be there will be a printable PDF version of this certificate that you'll be able to print on your own. Print one for every member of your chapter. But yes, that will absolutely be available. Yeah. So the Gong Farmer chapter, Shane Madjet just started calling himself like his crew. I forgot, like a local 292 or whatever. We were like, oh, we should do that. We should just give everybody the opportunity to shout out and represent their local game crew, and we'll give them all a Gong Farmer chapter and whatnot. And so that's what we're doing. So essentially, it's just about you and your local people, the people you game with, whether that be your home group, people you play with the stores, big online groups where you're spanning across the world. Just your crew. You get to say, this is our crew, this is our Gong Farmer number, this is our Gong Farmer name, and it's official. And like Joe was saying, eventually we want to make a map so people can find other local crews and be like, oh, I just moved to Tuscaloosa. And who's playing in Tuscaloosa? Oh, there's the Tuscaloosa Dragon Tamers. Let's go, get together and get a game in or whatever, Somebody, Bilgo says old classic library cards would be epic. Yeah, little punch cards and whatnot. This is the same thing. This is the first year for the Gong Farmer chapters. So anybody who signs up this year, as far as I'm concerned, you are part of the initial thrust.
Charter members, man.
Charter members.
They should get an extra little something on their certificate if they're a charter member.
Yeah, Redwood original style. You know what I'm saying?
Stickers, so.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, charter member. Yeah,
charter member. Get it in. They got to get it in by midnight Eastern Standard Time on December 31st.
31. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, so Chris has thrown down the gauntlet, kids. Yeah. So get your chapter together. Couple of questions I have had. Can I have multiple GMs in a chapter? Absolutely. I figure probably most chapters. I don't know what your game group but everyone's a boss in my game group. We all take turns running games. You know what I mean? I imagine that's going to be most groups. Can I be in more than one group? Absolutely, you can be in more than one group. You can be the head of more than one group. If you have two groups of friends that don't get along and you play with them on alternate days or something like that, or you have your online group and your in-person group or your whatever college, your college group and your home group, all that is completely okay. You know, we're gonna be inclusive rather than exclusive because we're Goodman Games and that's what we do.
Nice.
Absolutely. I feel like but that's it. So all you got to do is go on to the Goodman Games Road Crew landing page. You download that form, send that form to me directly, and we're gonna, you know, we'll make it official. We're still working on the technology to, well, we're, you know, how those forms are all going to work, but that's happening in certainly by the 31st of December. You'll have those.
Yeah.
No, way sooner, I promise.
There's more questions coming in. More questions coming in.
Yes. Can school groups apply? Yes. Temp tattoos would be fun. Yeah, they would. Do these groups have to run public games? No. This is not about that. This is, you know, this is under the aegis of Road Crew because I'm in charge of it. But honestly, this could be your home group and you don't have to let other people play or whatever. This is just you representing the people that you play Goodman Game stuff with every, you know, on whatever schedule. So this is no commitment to do anything, you know. I love the idea of being able to go, oh, there's a new convention and it's in Tuscaloosa. Let's see if the Dragon Tamers can get in there and, you know, send some GMs. So you might get an email from me saying, hey, this event's happening. If you want to send some GMs, fine, but you do not have to run public games at any points. Send me a picture of your DCC tat when that comes up. I would love to see it. People like, you know, tattoos would be fun. People are like, temporary? Yeah. Like, anybody gets a Gong Farmer, I don't know what we'll do for anybody who gets an actual tattoo of their actual Gong Farmer crew name and logo, but it will be amazing. And local 779 just got approved. Yep. P.S. If you haven't gotten approved, that's because there's a whole bunch of you there in my inbox. I was scrambling on them before the show, but tonight was all about the Road Crew. So a lot of y'all are, and I got to write tomorrow. So a lot of y'all are going to be on Monday. So get ready for that. But that's it. You know, it's just for fun. It's just to represent your crew there. There's a Discord. If you do join there, I should have had the Discord. Let me I could put the I don't know how I'll do that. All right, I'm not kidding. I am not Discord savvy, so I don't know how to actually say, oh, you can join the Discord. But reach out to me and can you do that? God, thank you, Elena. Get a young person.
Yeah, get a young person on it. We have a new rule at the booth at GaryCon. We want to keep somebody underneath 20 working the booth. Oh, we don't want to break any labor laws, but it works so good for when we have tech issues. It's just like, the reader's not working again. Hand it over to the kid. So, you know, figure it out.
It literally happens to you at some point where you're just like,
you've been left behind in technology. Yeah.
You know, there's a level you get. I remember my grandmother, God bless, rest her soul, never could get the hang of her answering machine. And she would get so mad at it. She'd hit the button and she wouldn't have a pen and she'd miss it and she couldn't figure out how to, like, oh, God bless.
Oh, remember setting the time on a VCR? Remember that?
That was a thing.
12 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Like people would just leave it at 12 o'clock flashing because you couldn't set that. Yeah, it's like, it's the same thing, people. It's just different technology.
It really is, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm getting better at Discord because I'm having to use it all the time now, but I don't know how to tell you, oh, and then you can just join. I don't know how you can join the group. I don't know how to, but we'll put cooler heads in front of that. So by all means, you know, you and your crew should join if you're a Goodman Games fan, if you're playing Goodman Games stuff, if you're getting together with friends and people you care about to run games, join the Gong Farmers, be a part of it, fly your flag, show your face, and and be a part of the mighty masses. I feel like that's basically you covered it. Chris, we have anything else to say before we skedaddle?
No, I mean, just if anybody has any questions on anything we covered, I mean, this is your guys' opportunity to chime in with questions and ask. You can even ask Brendan the meaning of life and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm happy to. You won't like what I got to say, but I'm happy to share.
Yeah. So
I know.
I don't think he's ever shied away from answering one of those deep questions. Belt buckles. I see belt buckles coming up.
Belt buckles. Yeah. I love it as a concept. Yeah. Remember when we could afford those belt buckles, Chris? Weren't those some days?
Were a thing, yeah. So
yeah, that's a very different
great
thing.
info. Can't wait. Thanks for getting. Yeah. So
thank you,
I think we just
Vilco.
yeah.
And
So,
oh man,
I like that, the bitter guy. I like that. Man, why did I pick that for my Twitch thing? That's a great one, the bitter guy. I love it.
Down by the river encounter is due once again. Looking at my notes. One moment.
I believe you said March 24th at 12 midnight.
It's Friday midnight. Yes.
Eastern Standard Time.
May 24th. May 24th.
May 24th, not March. Yeah, March should be like a year and plus.
Yeah. May 24th midnight. It's a Friday, so May 24th midnight is the contest thing, and I will we'll have a blurb up on the website tomorrow or soon. I don't know.
You'll get people on that too.
I will. I'll get. Yeah, I'll put my whole staff on it.
Yeah, get them. Yeah, get your whole staff.
Cool. All right, everyone. Well, listen. That all being said, thank you all for showing up. Chris, thank you so much for being here for your first rally. Let's do it again sometime. Let's have it.
Sure, definitely.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. And yes, there will be a social thing on there and such. Great having all y'all in the chat. Thank you, everybody. And thank you for supporting the Road Crew. Thank you for supporting Goodman Games and for supporting Goodman Games 5e and Goodman Games DCC. Thank you very much. Helena, please take us out of here. Damn.